Okay, we're online. I feel like I've done this a couple times. It's working good now. Got a good system. What's up for people joining me? This is good. I know it's a Thursday evening, so it's not really easy. It's not the easiest time to join. I get it. Your week's not over. You still have things to do. But the fact that you're actually making time to be here says a lot. So acknowledge yourself right now for actually taking the time out of, I'm sure, a busy week to take time for yourself, for your growth, for that recovery, for that work that you need to do. They're acknowledging needs to get done. That's actually really powerful. If you're here and you're feeling a little risky today, let me know in the comments where you're joining from, what time it is for you, how your week went. Give me something. Because sharing is really kind of how you actually be present in these trainings and show yourself that you're actually taking it seriously, right? As opposed to being a fly on the wall. So it's always nice just to know, be honest with yourself about what's going on. I see Brandon's here. I see Sharon. Amazing. Jason's with me. Love it. It's the guys that I know are serious because I see their names come up over and over. So amazing. We're gonna get kind of right into it. And as people continue to join, they'll just meet us where we're at. So today we are here to talk about overthinking. And I've created this training because I've noticed every one of you that I talk to has this same issue where you're feeling so overwhelmed by the overthinking patterns that are gripping your mind like a vice. And you guys don't know how to get that lock off so that your brain can do what it needs to do, what it wants to do, and not what it's caught in. So I'm really excited to talk about that today because I think it's going to help a lot of you guys really come to terms with what you need to do and what you need to actually think about in order to stop the overthinking nonsense. I see Michael with me. I see Mark. Amazing, guys. And Colin's with me. What's up? I love it. So if you guys haven't had a chance to spend some time with me, my name's Elena, and I'm a mental health coach for men who focuses on toxic relationship recovery. And I do have a coaching program where I help men become the strongest version of themselves after toxic relationships without getting the closure. So today, we're going to chat for a couple minutes about overthinking, make it nice and clear, calm, and concise for you guys. And it's really important because this is like one of the most number one issues that I find a lot of you guys are struggling with. And I've struggled with it in the past as well. So we're all here struggling with the same thing, or we've experienced the same thing. So safe place, everybody, okay? So tell me, guys, like who right now is experiencing that overthinking and wants to learn how to stop it? Give me a yes in the comments if that's you, so I'm understanding the appetite for this kind of stuff. And if everybody is really at that point where they can acknowledge, like, yeah, that's definitely me, 10 out of 10, I'm there and I'm done with it. Give me an idea so that I know where you're at on the pretty done with it scale. If you're, 1 out of 10, you're like, well, it's bad, but, it's not awful. Or if you're 10 out of 10, like, I'm so finished with this shit, right? Yeah, here we go. I've got the comments down here. That's why I'm looking down. I see the yeses. I see the yeses. Yeah. Everybody's experiencing it. So let's get right into the lesson because that's the meat and potatoes. That's why you're here. So it's going to be concise. It's going to be nice. We're not going to be doing the past live trainings that have been long, really cutting it back to get to the meat and potatoes of it. Let's go. So there is 3 overlooked truths about overthinking. We're going to cover them. So let's just jump into it, like not waste time, right? Point number 1, overthinking is not insightful. It's really a being avoidant. Okay, so let's break it down a little bit. So if you're overthinking, it's like you're trying to understand what happened, right? And it's almost like you're telling yourself, if I can just figure out and pinpoint The moment it all went wrong, I'll just get closure. It's going to make sense. I'll come full circle. But really, that's garbage. The truth is, the brain's way of avoiding the real emotional work is by overthinking and staying stuck in all of that unknown, right? So we're keeping ourselves circling the facts and the stories and the details instead of actually feeling the shit that is hard. All the crap behind the overthinking is so hard to feel. That's why we don't want to feel it. And that may include anger or betrayal or grief that needs to be processed, that thinking about all this other crap is going to distract us from. So, really quick, I worked with a client who had been out of the relationship for several months and was still going through every text, was still reading them over and over, like trying to find the exact moment that she stopped loving him. And yeah, that's, oh my God, he spent so much time doing that. The day that we actually finally realized that he wasn't searching for an answer, he was avoiding the pain of feeling rejected, was the day that we could actually start the healing. So, can anyone else relate? Can anyone else like pinpoint a time when they were catching themselves trying to find a critical piece of information that they believed would help them finally be able to move on? Like, oh yeah, if I just knew this one thing, I could move on. It would be great. Give me a yup in the chat so I know where you guys are at. Because that was definitely me at one point. I just thought, you know, if I could just know this one thing or maybe just a couple of these answers, that would help me. I could move on then. That's all I need to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's something that a lot of us do, if not all of us. We want to understand. We're human beings. Human beings want to make sense of the world before we actually take action. It's just human nature. But human nature sometimes holds us back from actually getting done what we want to get done. Yeah, see, I know you guys are struggling with that. Seriously, I got it. I got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's move on because you guys get that. Point number one, clear, right? Point number two is that overthinking ultimately erodes self-trust. So I'm going to take a second to explain that. So when we re-question our choices, when we are doubting ourselves, when we're rethinking about our memories and our gut instincts, right? We're teaching ourselves that we can't actually be trusted. And like, you can't trust your own judgment. So when you don't trust yourself, you're more likely to actually repeat the same patterns and then stay stuck in situations that aren't good for you because you're looking for answers outside yourself, not within yourself. So, another example, I had a client who was an extreme example of this. He was always asking his friends, his families, even people he didn't actually know well, for, reassurance that he made the right choices. And it did not matter how many times people said, like, yeah, dude, you did the right thing. He's still valid. He still doubted himself. It didn't matter how much validation he got. And his constant second guessing had him frozen for years. It wasn't until he started giving himself that reassurance and that validation from within that he actually started to gain traction and take action that started to feel like there was hope in his life again. So if you can relate to any part of that, hit me with the word trust in the chat so I'm understanding how many of you guys are struggling with the self-trust piece, because self-trust is not something that is built from the external world. Trust in general needs to be built from within. We have the ability to fully control our internal world all the time, and so it's a safer place for us to seek validation from. Thinking is not going to build trust, action does. Okay? Mm-hmm. You guys are in it. I see your comments. It's great. So let's move on to point number 3. Overthinking feels like control, but it is not. So I'll explain. I'll use my own experience as an example here. So my nervous system was completely screwed. It was shot. It was still in chaos after my relationship, and I craved certainty. I just wanted to know why things happened the way they did. And I went over every fight, and I did the overthinking thing. I every tiny detail I wanted to make sense of it, and I felt like I was taking back control when I was, the more I understood. And that ended up to be fake control. Okay, because while I was stuck in that mental loop, life was passing me by, and I wasn't actually building any kind of future that I wanted. I was sitting there feeling sorry for myself and trying to work out an impossible problem that did not have an answer, and I was basically trying to make it feel like I was being productive and using my time wisely, but I was using my time like shit. I was doing the opposite. I never got anywhere, and I wasted so much time getting nowhere. So, for this training today, the bottom line really comes down to overthinking feeling like a harmless activity, but it's one of the biggest reasons why men stay stuck long after the relationship ends. Okay? And it keeps us in our heads, not in the present where life is happening. So we're going to just review those points, connect them, because I like to do that. So overthinking is not insight, it is avoiding the present and the pain that is actually in the present moment. So by avoiding the present moment, we're actually eroding trust with ourselves, leading to further doubt and confusion, which then leads us to continue overthinking because we are spinning, right? And we want control. We feel so out of control. But now we know that overthinking is not actually true control. And so the way to actually feel better is to stop overthinking. And I made this training today because many of you are doing that spinning right now. I can tell when I talk to you guys. You're staying stagnant in the same spots, okay? And you're feeling out of control, you're feeling confused, you're seeking answers from the wrong places. So, who out of you guys is ready to stop wasting more time in overthinking, but you feel stuck because you don't know how to overcome these mental impulses, staying in these patterns? And here's where I'm going to be really honest with you. It's extremely difficult to get there alone. I didn't get to a place where I could break my overthinking thoughts within seconds by myself. And no amount of YouTube or self-help videos or meditation or like mindset books change things for me. You're going to need redirection, and you're going to need someone to put you back on the right path when your mind strays from it. Because right now you're fighting mind with mind, and that's really hard to do by yourself. So this is the type of work that takes place in my coaching program. I'm working with men to make sure that they stay on track no matter what their overthinking mind tries to throw at them to veer them off course. I see myself as the navigator and they are the driver. And we always get to the final destination if they're able to listen to my direction. Okay, it's pretty foolproof, really. So, if this is something you're ready to take action on, DM me the word direction and we will get clear on what that direction looks like. How we can get you on the right path without wasting any more time. because time is valuable, guys. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. It's a Thursday. I get it. Not easy to get here, and you showed up, and I really appreciate that about you. If you got some value, drop the word value in the chat so that I know you're picking up what I'm putting down here for you. And if any of the replayers want to drop the word value too, so I know, because I want to know after the fact, if you couldn't make it to the live, if this is useful. So I'm going to see you guys in the next live. Okay, appreciate you showing up and have a good rest of your week, okay?